Coach, I asked Coach Houston about Bailey Malibu. I mean, he looks like a different dude.
Yeah.
How much do you think that weight will help him, and then the offensive line as a whole? How much better do they look?
All right, that's a great question because that really makes me smile. It gives me something to smile about today because I love talking about Bailey because Bailey is so awesome to be around. And, the pandemic hurt him. You're right. It hurt a lot of people. But Bailey just lost too much weight, and it just really made him just too vulnerable up front. And the guys just bull rushed him last year. And so Big John and his staff did a great job, along with the nutritionist, and then Bailey having to do it, of eating a lot more, but also eating correctly, getting the weight up, lifting. We did some difference in his conditioning, and he looks a lot better, looks a lot more firm. The pass protection, was still a major issue last year, and that has been one of the best things of the camp so far is our pass protection has been very good. And that's one of the hardest things to do in college football is pass protect, like drop back pass. So you'd like not to do it that much, but you're going to get in that situation. So you have to work on it a lot because it's one of the harder things. And Bailey's weight being up, and he has not lost any of his quickness or any of the other parts. So it's been great. It really has.
Another guy up there, Avery Jen, a neat story of he kind of had to play center in the spring,
yeah.
And now you're starting center. It looks like, man, how has that kind of happened?
It's been good. I think when he came, we knew he could have played guard or center. He had played a little bit of center up at the other school he went to, and maybe even a little bit in high school. I think early, though, probably played mostly tackle because in high school, that's where you put your best player. So we always knew he had the capability that he's very smart, very young, or smart, even though he was young type guy, understood the game from a great high school program. So he had some coaching already, and he's just so quick, and yet he's so strong that he's going to make us a lot better. When you analyze the season and what you did good and what you did bad, 2 years ago we had like really, really small centers. I looked both centers in the eye. Year one, we knew we were in trouble right there when that was the case, right? So we got a bigger center in Fernando last year, but Fernando didn't have that quickness. No slam on Fernando. He'd be the first to say that. Avery gives you both. We think he's an all-conference center, no doubt about it. That's a natural position for him. It does add a little bit more because now you got to snap and then block. So there have been some timing deals like that, but he's taken to it really, really fast. So that's another really, really bright spot for the camp right now is Avery Jones.
When you put all these pieces together and the experience that some of these guys have got, do you feel like that you can maybe go a little deeper into your playbook this year and cause some trouble for people and get some stuff the easy way in addition to the hard way?
Yeah, I really do. I think that's a good comment as well there. I think we're doing that already. Now that's one of the negatives to camp right now is we have too many busts, we have too many mistakes, and you think, okay, you got 10 starters back, you should be able to just pick it up, but it just doesn't work that way. You know what I'm saying? Right now, what we do is we install our entire offense, okay, with the exception of maybe a few special situations in 5 days, okay? So we have been just throwing it at them. It's just like drinking water through a fire hose. I mean, it's just coming at them. And then you compound that with Coach Harrell is installing all the defense in 5 days as well. So it's 11 on 11. There's a multiple ways that things can happen, and then all the different fronts, all the different plays. You got to block them different every day. So that's caused some mistakes. But eventually, then you come out because its whole part holds the way we teach it. Then it should be good for the rest of the season. So having the offensive linemen, so many more back, has really helped. Now, we got some younger guys at some of the other positions at receiver, minus CJ, Audie, and Sneed that, we got to get them up to speed. So we can only go as fast as they can learn. Holton, you can really, really accelerate a little bit, but I've got inexperienced quarterbacks behind him that you got to slow it back down a little bit and kind of keep it a little bit more at the slower pace. But we're going to try to be as wide open as we can be. I mean, the main thing, though, is to keep the main thing, and that's win the game. So if it's a big scoring game, we've had a couple of those, Cincinnati, SMU, sometimes like that, you have to go. You got to open it up a little bit more. If it's a game like Temple last year where it appeared that if we would have left in the third quarter, they'd have played the fourth quarter and never scored, I don't think, after that. They just weren't going to score that day. Don't go screw it up. We might have been a little more conservative than I would like to be if you just, could do what you wanted to do, but you got to go out there and try to win the game.
Receiver-wise, you mentioned Snead and Audie and CJ. Who else is stepping up there early in camp?
I think Tyler Savage is really come back a little bit lighter. He's got really good hands. I think last year, he showed that in camp, but then he just wore out, and then he just maybe didn't have the quickness and the speed at the weight he was trying to play at to separate and get open enough. He's leaned out. He's done a really good job in the offseason. He looks quicker. He looks faster. He's doing a nice job with that. Jari Patterson has shown us that he's got the explosiveness to be a good player. We're just trying to figure out exactly where we play him. Nobody wants to play behind Snead because Snead won't let anybody play. He never gives the tired signal once to come out. But we got to force somebody to do that. So we're playing him there. We can play him some other positions as well. But he's really showed up, I think, in the first 5 practices. There's Tajee Hudson. Always brings something to the table. I think as he learns how to play receiver, that's the thing. He's an athlete. He's a track athlete. He was a little bit of a wide out, mostly a quarterback. What was he's an outfielder in baseball. So as he learns to run routes, I think we'll see him even get more playing time as well. So those will be a couple of the ones I think that have stood out. Besides the CJ, Audie, Snead, they're always there.
Coach, how was your tight end room shaking out?
Well, I like the tight end room a lot more. When we got here 2 years ago, we didn't have any tight ends. In fact, Jeremy Lewis, and I probably told this story, I apologize for being redundant. We had to talk to Jeremy Lewis, who had been recruited by the previous staff. We signed him, but we kind of talked him into coming over and playing tight end. He's supposed to be a defensive end. So he had to take a 2-year delay to get back over there where he was supposed to be because we didn't have any tight ends. We did not. Xavier, I think, was the tight end maybe the year before, and he went back to linebacker because we needed him there. So now we got some depth there. Shane Calhoun came in, had a great freshman year, is getting better and better. Ryan Jones has been a great addition to that. He missed a little bit more than we'd like for him to have missed in the spring. He's catching up the fall. He's got some playmaking ability to him right there. Zach Bird's back. Healthy for the first time, really maybe since when he first got here, so we can keep him out there. He's doing a much better job blocking and some stuff. Aaron Jarman is a great addition. He is really doing good. He's competing right there. So that room's, you got some depth. It's got some versatility to it now. We got different type of tight ends that can do different things. And then, I think Brian Gagg was back today in helmet only because he had turned his ankle in a conditioning drill or something. We think Gagg's got a place out there that can maybe help us too.
When you talk about that tight end bunch, talk about the importance of getting that tight end involved so they have to worry about the tight end too.
Yeah. Well, if you could throw it to the tight end in the red zone, it opens up a whole new passing game because you get down there, it's not about the speed as much now because, you don't have as much area to run and go beat people deep. The guy can get down the middle of the Tampa 2, the cover 2s and stuff like that, throw it to him over the middle. That really helps you a lot there too. So Shane can do that. He can be a good receiver. We need to get him the ball more. We didn't do a great job of that last year again. I think that Shane, can do it all. He can block as well. So I don't want to. Ryan Jones is definitely that guy as well. So Jarman and Zach Bird are maybe a little more the traditional tight end. But those are the guys you can throw it to maybe as a surprise a little bit more. They'll probably be more of our blocking guys. So, but yeah, we're hoping to get them involved a little bit more. So,
you spent so much time with Holton. Does he feel like a coach out there now?
Well, I spend so much time with him that he's probably sick of me right now. and you hear my voice. I think I probably encouraged him a little bit hard today on a couple of different things. But he is, obviously he's the dream kid for a coach. I mean, what I'm saying, he can almost spoil you a little bit. Because, he just does everything that you ask as a coach. Now, we're still doing the same thing. I know I'm just repetitive. Holton can play at the highest level. I mean, there are games and there are quarters and there are drives where he is the best in the league. There is no question about it. I mean, first half SMU last year, tell me anybody in the country played better than he played in that first half. There's no way that anybody played better than that. And he's done that multiple times. We're trying to eliminate those mistakes, and what happens is when things don't develop for one reason or the other, somebody doesn't get open, somebody gets beat up front, the defense is in a great call, which does happen from time to time. They make a terrific call and you don't have the perfect play called. Holton has a tendency, because he's so competitive and he's so confident, that he wants to just go do it on his own. And then sometimes that works. And boy, does that encourage him. You have to be really careful as a coach to praise a bad decision that turns out to be a good play. Now, it's a result-oriented, business. You know what I'm saying? You win. It's a win business. So, that's a great play, but that was probably a bad mistake, because it usually leads to about 3 times it doesn't work for every time it works. So we're still working on that a little bit. I do think he's improving on that a little bit. He's come a long way, I think, about becoming maybe more of a polished quarterback than when he first got here. He was just an athlete, go run, do this kind of stuff. We'd love to run him. We'd love to run him more. But the thing is, all the defenses last year played him to run. That's why Keaton and Raji had so many good looks, is because sometimes they had 2 guys playing the quarterback to pull the ball. There'd be 2 guys chasing him out here, and nobody on the first, second level. There goes the back, long run. So we'd rather them run it anyhow. It's better. And we just worry a little bit about calling just total, I'm a quarterback run, power play, because running up inside, if he gets hurt, I don't know, season tickets probably go down, right now. Now, as we can get Mason and those guys some experience, and we can get better, we can maybe take a few more chances with that right now. But again, the main thing is to keep the main thing, win the game. And in the end, that's what we're trying to do.
I was going to say, we haven't talked much about the running back. So
well, now you can get me happy there again too, because Keaton Mitchell and Raji Harris are light years ahead of where they were this time last year, and they're far ahead of where they were at the end of spring and last season right now. Both of them are exciting. So we kind of have a saying in the quarterback meetings. They constantly hear me say, if you can get it to 25, 47, or 22, you're getting ready to make all conference. You can't get it to them enough. So you can't always hand it to them in the backfield, because defenses can take that away. Throw it to them. They're both great receivers out of the backfield. They both sometimes make the check down on third down look really, really good. And they've done that. They're making a lot of people miss. And, Raji, he's creating some shoulder injuries now for those guys to try to hit him. Man, he's a load. He's a load now. He's a real deal. So thunder and lightning, it's real.